when your hearts are aligned and are aligned. And I think because she builds and I see and I create like the heart, like it's like water and seed, water and seed, water and seed, and we both put the love, and it's like a principle that harmonizes throughout our whole ecosystem of our marriage, and we keep love as this, like literally it's our center. It's like instead of looking to each other and all that, we look like, okay, what is unconditional love? Like what is, and then when we find that, like we get to see miracles in our day.
You are here. Welcome to the Purpose Finder podcast. This is the show where we uncover why you are truly here and, more importantly, how to make it your reality. My father, the late Dr. Miles Monroe, said the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but life without purpose. And research further shows that people with a strong sense of purpose are 2.4 times more likely to feel fulfilled. Each week, I sit down with extraordinary guests, entrepreneurs, artists, thought leaders who are boldly living their why. We dive deep into their journeys, the struggles they have overcome, their breakthroughs, and the lessons that can help you do the same. I am your beautiful host, Charissa Monroe Wilborn, and we're about to explore the mindsets, tools, and strategies to help you live a life with purpose, passion, and legacy. Are you ready? Let's go and dive into the episode. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another amazing, incredible episode of the Purpose Finder podcast, where you know it, our mission is simple: to inspire you to find and uncover your life's purpose and to live a life overflowing with meaning, fulfillment, and significance. Why? Because deep down, we all crave belonging. No one wants to feel unfulfilled. And we are all searching, asking that one big question: why in the world am I here? Well, let your answer be right here on the podcast. I am your host, Charissa Monroe Wilborn, and today I sit down with two fantastic, amazing, incredible human beings who are all about purpose, who are living it, together. We're going to hear their story, their life journey, some lessons along the way, and it's going to be a fun ride because this guy is hilarious. Please welcome Theron and Antonia Feemster. Bro, sis.
What's
Hi.
up?
Thank you for being here. Please welcome.
Glad to be here.
It is amazing to have you here. I'm not going to read a bio, so we're going to go right in because I know Theron has story upon story upon story to tell. I want to give him all the time, but please share with us, share with the audience who you are individually and together, where you are from, and all the great things that you do in the world. And Antonia, we can start with you.
Okay. I'm Antonia Feemster,
Mm.
born and raised in Los Angeles, California. My purpose is ever changing. But right now I've been following the purpose of being a mother, a wife, and what I do for fun is I'm a real estate developer. I develop affordable housing. I build apartment buildings in Los Angeles, and then we also do affordable housing in North Carolina as well. And then Theron will tell you about what else we do, but that's what's been the journey for me for the last 10 years, and it's been very exciting and having a lot of fun.
And for those who can see us, you're looking at actually three preacher's kids.
Hey, let's go.
They both also have parents and fathers who are or were pastors,
Mm.
just like mine was, and so that's going to make for a very fun and interesting dynamic. So, Antonia, thank you so much for sharing that. Theron, please give us the rest of the story.
What's happening? What's happening? Grateful to be here. My name is Theron Feemster. Grew up in North Carolina. Started playing at the age of 2 years old. From there, fell in love. Well, music fell in love with me, and I just said yes to the love that fell inside. And music stayed with me. Started playing at 2. piano and drums. Then from there, around 6, 7 is when I started taking over for my dad's church. And from there, just, I went to the school of learn how to play in the spirit, pulling from that place. And I keep it short because I know some questions you probably want to ask. Music, sound. When I think about my entire ecosystem of what I am, it's sound. Grew up in church. I grew up in symphonies and orchestras. I'm super fascinated with the orchestra and how it relates to the human body, and how it's all the different parts, the French horn, the flute, how they match different parts of the body, and why, having many voices in one sound was a big deal for me. And from there, preacher's kid in church every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, cleaning up church, Sunday, So music, 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 playing spirit. From there, I found out about an incredible college called Berkeley College of Music in Boston. I went there and it was like, oh my gosh. Growing up in a small town, less than 500 people, you go to a city like Boston, it's like, man, like, God is good. Like, so many sounds that I've never even, it wasn't even the instruments, the humans were sounds. And just to hear the different sounds coming out of them was just like, oh, it's like I went to a city like a new symphony. And from there, I remember going to college, and that's when I discovered the first part of my purpose. And that was me becoming producer, which I'll tell you about. And then from there, that journey, that surrender led me to Los Angeles, LA. And then from LA, came to LA with like 500 some dollars, suitcase, amp, and a keyboard. And God stretched that for like 23, 24 years. Now I have a beautiful wife. But yeah.
I was gonna say LA is expensive. How did you make it starting with 500 and plus odd dollars? My word, must definitely had to have been a God move.
It was definitely a God move. This is good because I want to say it right. It was following my purpose, but it was also staying simple to things that I loved. And music just made me happy. You didn't have to pay me. I mean, I was surprised if you paid me. It's like, man, they pay you to do this? Like, and so in college, it's like, I love the discovery of what music was, how it affected people, the different sounds, and how they affected you. So I was truly fascinated. So I remember I had my keyboard and I had my rolling K500 amp, and I was in my dorm room. And in my dorm room, I was constantly making this same beat. I called it my church rock beat. And so one day, a friend of mine walked in the room and he said, what you plan on doing for the rest of your life? And I really didn't know that. Nobody's never asked me that question. Freshman in college, I'm like, that's a big question. I said, and he said, what do you love doing? I was like, I looked at my keyboard, my Triton keyboard, if you know. I said, I love putting beats together. And like, I love symphonies. It's like people have careers. They call that producing. And it's like, boom, it's like producing. That is it. That's the first highway to get on. So I remember calling my parents like, Dad, Mom, I figured it out. I know what I want to do in my life. I want to be a producer. And I was ready to stop going to all of my classes. And my parents were like, wait, 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 wait. We're going to come up there in a week. And if you still feel the same way, we're going to talk about it. They came a week later. I still felt the same way. And my parents said, you know what? We don't want to be the parents that said we held you back. If this is where your heart is leading you, they gave me their blessing. And then from there, I really stopped going to all my classes. And I was in my dorm rooms when that dual CD player burner came out, and I was making that same rock beat. And that same rock beat incredibly got in the hands of Will Smith. And that is the beat that became the Men in Black 2 theme song around the world. And that was from my dorm room. So God does work in incredible ways. So that was the start of where I'm going.
That is a true story of your gift making room for you because it started with Will Smith, but it didn't end there.
Mm.
Because then now it went from Will Smith to
From Will Smith, I remember. I guess I got the news, but when I got to California, I remember going to a studio called Track Record off Lancashire. Then I walked in there, and so this artist, she had this, his song, "Heard It All Before." Since your lives ain't working now, look who's working now. So I skipped out on some story, but in college, I did take a trip to New York. You know, in New York, I got to do the Apollo show, and the Apollo show. This is when Jay-Z came to see me, Wyclef came to see me. I didn't know who these guys were. Then I also remember meeting, these white guys, with a cool accent, end up being U2 from Bono. I didn't know who they were, but they were super cool. So I remember doing that show, and then Macy came. And Macy, I saw Macy, and we hit it off. And now to fast forward, they said, "Hey, Sunshine," back in California now. They said Sunshine Anderson is in the studio. I'm not in the studio. She's at center stage and getting ready for tour. She needs a piano player. And they said, you should go down there. So I remember driving down to center stage and down to Burbank. Then I walked into center stage, and this is where this was new. It's fresh. I left college early, like a year and a half. So I'm in Los Angeles, like, oh my gosh, they got fruit trees, they got like the air, everything different. So I go to center stage, and this is where all of the major artists go before they ship out. Like the big artists, this is where they practice their tour. And so I walked in, and guess who was there? Macy Gray. She was like, "Ron." I was like, "Hey, Macy." She was like, "Hey, you know what? The musical director didn't show up." She said, "If you can make the band sound better, you got the job as the MD." I was like, "MD?" I was like, "I can do that. I did that for church growing up. I got the band together, and I said, I can be an MD." And that was my first time being like an MD. Besides, I used to do the gospel plays back in the day, growing up, with my cousins and. But I was like, I can be MD. I went up there I said to that band, I said, "Guys, we're going to be the best sounding band ever." So the band sound, I got the job. And can you believe they paid me to tour? Like gave me per diem. I was like, what is this? Y'all paying me to do what I love?
this is the second time that he has talked about getting paid for what he loves to do. And it's been like a surprise. If they pay me, I'll be surprised. But when you think about, like, one of the things I talk about a lot when it comes to purpose is, and my dad used to ask this question, like, what is the thing that you would do if you didn't get paid for it?
Mm,
If we took away money being the attachment, like, what would you do? What is your passion? And for you, whether they paid you or not, like, I wish those who are not watching it, I wish as you watch this episode, you can see Theron's face. The excitement that he talks about, the smile.
hope you
When
didn't see that
he
part.
talks about music, because like you could see that he's truly passionate about it. And I love it. And he's talking about, what, you're gonna pay me? Like, they pay you for this? Absolutely. But when that's not the first thing on your mind and you go after it really hard, like
Mm,
really, really, really hard. And it's the one thing that you were willing to do and get nothing in return. At least not money. And we are in a place and a stage where people go after money first.
mm,
And if that particular thing that they maybe do love, because people, they do have passions, they do have gifts and things they love to do. But if they don't think that it's going to make them any amount of money that's worth talking about, then they're going to push it off to the side, and they're going to copy someone else who is doing the thing they love that's making money for them.
mm,
And I'm grateful for the person that said to you, yeah, but what is the thing you love to do, though?
mm,
When you told him, he said, well, that is actually what they call a producer. And it was just somebody putting a label on what it is you love to do. That's all. But you ran with it. And I even listened to Antonia. I want to come back to Antonia because she said something, and she said it in passing, and like I ain't hear it. She said, what I like to do for fun. She didn't say what I do for a living.
mm.
she said, what I do for fun is, and I wanted to ask you, Antonia, where does that come from? Because you didn't say what I do for a living. Like, we all answer the question. By profession, I'm a social worker, which is what I am. For a living, I dot dot dot. But for you, it was what I do for fun. Why is that your perspective on what it is that you truly do in the world?
I think it's just for me, it's about following my highest excitement. And when I started in real estate and I realized that that's what I wanted to do, I was on vacation with my parents and we went to this resort. And at the time, I was training. I was in high school, and I'm training to, for basketball. I got a scholarship to FIU Division I to play basketball, and so I was constantly just in the gym. I had to be there hours a day, just working out. And I was so amazed. I'm like, somebody built this. How in the world is this even like possible? And where do you even begin to build like not only just a hotel, but a gym, the golf course, the this and that and this and that. And lo and behold, one morning I was in there in the gym. I was probably on the treadmill or something like that. And the owner comes in, and I felt this unction in my gut, like talk to this guy and ask him what he does. And so I do that, and I ask him. I say, "Hey, how are you?" And I was like, "Well, what do you do?" And he's like, "I'm a developer. I built this resort." And I said, "Huh? How did you even do that?" And he was like, "It was a lot of hard work, and it's like putting a puzzle together." And then from then on, he didn't have to say anything else. That's all I could think about. I was just so excited for figuring out how this guy was able to do that. And it's just like you feel it like in your heart, like you feel like this overwhelming joy, like this fire burning in you. And I felt that, and I was going to go to college to become an attorney, and I just decided, you know what, I want to be a developer. And there was no degree for that, so it was like be an architect or be this and that. And so I just decided that I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get a business degree. And one day, the vice president was speaking at one of the events that they were holding, and she was telling us about how she went to an Ivy League school. She was the vice president of Visa. She did this and that, and I just felt it in my spirit again. After she spoke, I went up to her. Nobody was waiting to talk to her, but I went up to her and I said, "Would you mentor me? There's something that you could teach me, and I want to learn." And she said, "Nobody's ever asked me that before." I said, "Really?" She said, "Come to my office tomorrow at this time and let's talk." And I did, and we just hit it off. So she found out my passion. She's like, "You know what? I'm going to put you in the real estate department. You can intern there." So first thing she had me do was just collecting notebooks from RFPs, which is request for proposals. So if they're building like a new building on campus, so I get a chance to see all the contractors submitting bids. And she said, "Look at it. Like, you take the bids and put it in this, stack it up, but feel free to look through the folders if you want." And then from then on, it was all these financial things. And I got a chance to see, if anybody's ever been to the Florida International University campus, the Miami-Dade campus, it's a beautiful campus. I was there from 2005 to 2009 when all those buildings went up, and I got a chance to see how they were all financed and developed, and it was incredible. But that was for me following my passion. Like, it excited me most to go say hi to her, and just wanted to know what she was doing. And I saw that I didn't know where it was going to lead me, but I just followed it, and it was great.
The two of you are something else. Let me tell you why. Because you're like the blueprint of like purpose and passion, and how I've been trying to describe it to people, and what it looks like, what it feels like, how you uncover it. And just the way that Theron is so excited and passionate about music. It's the same way you are about buildings. I'm like, who looks at a building and be like, oh, how did they build that? And I wonder how, I'm listening to you and I'm like, okay, I could care less about the intricate things of a building for me, but for you, and this is why I love to say on the podcast that purpose comes in all different colors, shapes, sizes, textures. We are all built differently. Like my dad would say, we all have a different fingerprint. Therefore, we all have a blueprint. We all have a different DNA. We all have a different reason as to why we are here. And so your love for real estate is your love for real estate. Your passion for buildings and the development side, and now being able to address the homeless problem in California to the best way that you can, like that is for Antonia. It might not be for me, but for you it is. And so one of the questions that I have people ask a lot when they want to think about, like, where do I even start with trying to figure out what my purpose is what is the thing that you do that other people find boring or that other people are uninterested. And for Antonia, it's looking at building and trying to figure out, man, how did they put that together? And like I could just see you right now. And I'm looking at the building saying absolutely nothing about it. But you're like all in it. Just like how he's who in the world cares about how these other instruments come together in the orchestra? I'm just liking the fact that that sounds beautiful. The conductor, how he moves one arm and everybody moves according to the arm, and like I see that. But Theron is looking at how this particular horn goes with this particular horn and this piano, and how it makes you feel in your soul. Like I could say it back to both of you because you were so animated and excited about what it is that you love to do. And if anybody is watching this or listening to this right now and you want to know, how do I know what I'm passionate about? How do I know what my purpose even looks like? Start here. Start there. What is it that excites you? Forget what mom and dad think. Forget what siblings and friends might think. What is it? How, I don't care how small, how intricate, how big. What is it that makes you so excited when you see it, when you feel it, when you touch it, that you wish you could tell somebody, but you're like, they gonna think I crazy. They gonna think something wrong with me. Like, what is it? If you want to know what that is, like, start where these two have started. And then they kept talking about it. And then Antonia went another step. She said, I'm just going to be bold. I'm going to step out. This is what I like to do. I'm going to ask questions. You probably said the worst that anybody can say to me is no. Because what if that lady, what if the VP, I think she was the VP, what if she had said, I don't have time for you? That was the worst that she could have done. But it would have been the best thing for you because then it should have then said to you, no problem, she wasn't for me. But you still stepped out there and you was like, can you mentor me? Like one of the best things that anyone can do, no matter what it is you do in your life, is find yourself a mentor, a trainer, a coach, a teacher. Um, and I'm grateful that you guys did that. So these are things that you guys are doing individually as a single individual, correct? Heh. It hadn't met each other. However, California is here, but here you are now. And I know Theron is getting ready to tell us a story about how he met you and what you guys were doing at the time that he came together, because now he is doing big things. You both are, but in the celebrity world, if you will, it can be difficult to find a true mate that you're actually going to stick with. And I gather that hasn't been the case for you guys. So I would love to hear that story of how this union occurred. How did you know it was the right union for the purpose that you were living, and just a journey along the way.
Okay. I was coming off of um when people go on a long journey in their life, and like, are you going like an experience, or to figure, like, so I was coming off of a journey, and I was coming to re re get get reconnected with God. The reason why I'm talking like this is a really big place in my life. I was coming to find out who I was now. Because I've at this point, I've probably sold over, but this is when and I was ready for something more. And what I was experiencing out there wasn't enough. Like, physically, things may have been good, but deeper inside. So I went back to church. And mind you, I haven't played in church at that time in like maybe over 10 years because I was working, studio touring, and God was like, I need more. So I found this really incredible church. But the way I found it is really cool. I was actually getting my hair cut. I had turned my car in at that time. The lease was up. And so I remember I heard about this Bible study, and I had my friend to drop me off at this Bible study I heard about. So when I went to this Bible study, I remember walking in, this really nice man just came in with his Kingo hat, and he just sat, down next to me. I'm in the back. And so next, they were done praying, and then they was like, all right, it's time to get down for Bible study. All right, pastor, come up. So the person next to me stood up. I was like, oh, okay, must be the pastor. So he walked up front. So he started teaching. And when he started teaching, it's like my engine started coming back on. I was like, oh. And then they were like, whoever wants the Holy Spirit, look, I grew up, so I know about the Holy Spirit. I was just a kid who was just shy. I always held my power, and I held my power back behind the boards. So, but I knew this next place that for me to go where I needed more. And I was like, okay, I gave the world my best. It's like, God, I know I can give you my best. So I went up there. So this really nice lady took me in the back, and she was like, you know about the Holy Spirit. She said, it gives you dunamis power. I was like, what's that? She's like, it's like super to the power. I was like, oh, I like that. So she gave me all these instructions, and I was shy. I was like, can I do this at home in, my room? So blah, 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 blah. I literally went home. I cut off all my lights like God couldn't see me, right? And I said, and I remember telling my mom, one day it would be amazing to have a wife like you, because the way you love my dad and the way you love. I remember saying, I'm ready. I said, I'm ready for my wife. I was like, these are things like, and then literally light turned on, boom. It was like I say it this way: I found a vibration of sincerity, if you can follow me, and I knew. I was like, oh. And then I remember I just started reading, and then I started walking to church 2 times a day. I just got hungry. I sat in the second row, and then one day they do this thing where they say it's somebody's birthday, and it says today is the pastor's daughter's birthday. And I've never, mind you, I wasn't going to church to look at girls. I was going to church for the word. So I made sure I was there like this. So I didn't even look, but I knew when she stood up, I just knew something shifted for me. And so I had a dream one day that I was playing for her dad. And I had a dream that they were crying. He was crying, but it was a place of worship. Like it was a happy cry. And when God told me to go to that church, he said, don't tell them who I am. Don't tell them what I do. So I literally sat down. He said, go to church and grow up. So grandma, special lady who we love dearly, her grandmother, my grandmother, one day after church, she said, have you ever met my granddaughter? And we was like on the side where they give you eggs and like little hors d'oeuvres after church breakfast stuff. And I was like, no, ma'am. She was like, Antonia, come over here. So she walked over there. Man, she was so cool. And I was so geeky, like nerdy, techie. And she's like, meet my granddaughter. She was like, I'm jumping.
It's okay.
I'm jumping. Before that, this is fun, by the way. Before that, remember I had that dream? So they had like your dad and mom's like birthday, some beautiful they had for their dad. And God said, let him know you play now. So I went in the back and I said, hey, can I play for you? Really awkward, like awkward stuff. Like I was like, hey, can I play the piano for you? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. So there's this piano in the back. And I just started playing. And then I saw his face. He's like, you been here the whole time? I was like, yeah. I was like, he's like, man. He's like, okay. And then he went back and he told his wife. And so then they went on family vacation. Now they came back from vacation. By the time I met grandma, she's awesome. Now she said, have you met my granddaughter? And she walked over and she was like, what's up? I was like, she was cool, like poised. Like, just like, how you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm good. Like, and and she's like, yeah, my dad told me. She's like, you play piano, huh? I was like, yeah, I play. She's like, that's what's up. Okay, she's like, check you later. I was like, dang, did she just really dunk on me? Like, did I just get dunked on? Like, that was, and so I was ready by that time. I didn't have a car. So what I love about that church is when I was walking home, there was somebody that wanted to take me home every Sunday. It was the sweetest thing, a stranger. I was like, wow. So I remember I decided to join the church, and so my parents wanted to know what church am I joining. So my parents flew in, and so I joined. Beautiful, like it was great. And then Grandma said, "Your parents preachers, her parents preachers." She's like, "I'm having a dinner." So Grandma put on a dinner, invited my parents over. Oh, Grandma, and Grandma said, "Hey, bring your keyboard over, okay, honey? Bring your keyboard." I said, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." So I brought my keyboard over to the house. No, first of all, we got there, and we still kind of new, like driving up in the mountains. So we got a little bit late. So we walked in, and she was like, I'm like, excuse me, like she was like, hey, the food been ready, So we walked in, we laughed, and then and so I set up my keyboard. Grandma's like, go play, go play. So when I start playing my sound, she went to go get her guitar.
You play too, Antonia?
Not very well.
I'm
But
like, wait a minute. This story.
and she got her guitar and she sat next to me, and I'm playing, and I'm like, wow. And then she said, let's go take, Grandma says, y'all go take the garbage, clean it up. So we get up. So then I felt the first wave. Then I felt, we both started walking. It probably is a beautiful view. We started walking, taking the trash out. And then it's that one thing is like, you don't act, it was no question. It was just more of a magnetic. It was like, is there an activation? And I was like, and then you can tell the rest.
Now, at this time, are you feeling him the way he's feeling you?
No.
Okay.
No, I just thought like, oh, is this guy that can play the piano really well? Like,
I thought she liked me. I was like, man.
Yeah, because I had come from the sports world, so like, I was all into everything basketball and athletics and this and that, and here he comes, complete opposite of what I would think would be my ideal like match, very like artistic and doesn't care about sports, like doesn't watch it at all. And yeah, but just one day after church, one of the members was having a pool party and invited everybody over. So literally like the whole church is at her house. And
Preach kid stuff.
And Theron and I start talking that day, and we're sitting by the pool, and the entire party is literally just us, just talking, the entire party. And I leave that night, and I'm home in my bed, and I'm like, this is crazy. What is happening to me? Like, it's almost like magnets,
It is.
but you're being sensitive to it. And so I had to text him because I was like, this is the craziest thing. I've never felt anything like this.
Best text I ever got.
I'm not
Best
usually
text.
the one to like be forward with guys or anything like that. I was just like, for some reason, I feel like you have a part of me. Like, is that weird? Like, I was like, what is happening? Because I've never felt anything like it.
What was your exact words to him?
Yeah, what did I say? I said, I said,
Yeah.
for some reason, I feel like you have a part of me.
She was very honest. I was like, ooh.
And I'm never straightforward because, like, you know.
As soon as you did this, ma'am, you straightforward.
Yeah, well, straightforward when it comes to my feelings and emotions. Like, I was very, like, I reserved that part of me, or I don't know.
What's your response to that?
Yeah. And I don't even remember his response to it.
I think I was more like because it was a feeling I've never felt either. So I didn't really have an expression yet to express a feeling I've never felt. And it did feel like a deep ocean of endless opportunity. It's not like you like something. It's like, man, you see time unlocked.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's not love. It's an attraction.
Purpose. It's purpose.
It's an attraction.
It's a journey.
It was
It's
incredible
an experience.
that I felt that, me being so like non-emotional all the time,
Now, there's a way that you describe your wife when she came into your life.
Oh my goodness.
And there's a way that you describe your purpose. And I would like for you to share that with the audience.
Hey, purpose seekers. If today's conversation has you thinking about your purpose, what it is, how to find it, and how to truly live it, then I have something special just for you. Introducing the Purpose Finder Formula. And you have free access to this 20-minute training designed to help you uncover your purpose and start living it with confidence. No fluff, no guesswork. It's clear, practical, step-by-step guide to finding meaning and gaining clarity and direction. Your purpose is calling. Are you ready? Head over to www.charissamunro.com/Purpose Finder Formula. Enter your info and I'll send it straight to your inbox. Imagine waking up every day knowing your life has meaning, impact, and joy. That's what awaits you. So don't wait. Grab your free training today. Let's get back to the episode.
She came into my life and she brought, I'm going to say it this way. She came in already full. And I believe when you have two full people, instead of fulfilling each other, we came in trying to enhance who we already were. So on one of our dates, now mind you, she's doing things I've never done before on a date. Never. She took me to the library. I'm like, where we going? She's like, I see the way you think. You need to read this. You need to do this. And I'm like, what? Like, for so she took me to the library. And I was like, okay, this is different. This is a different kind of support. Like, she's seeing purpose and she's seeing how to enhance my purpose. Me, she's saying things that I love, that she was like, add this to your resonance, add this to your sound, turn it. And it's almost, she saw all of the best things about me and she just wanted to make it better. And I remember they invited me to the house and I knew it was real because, I'm grown, I'm making my own money and my parents were still in town. And I said, Mom, how do I look? I'm like, I'm really asking my mom, how do I was like, okay, and then I knew my mom had the class because I don't ask her. I don't eat. And wow, I've never seen it that way because this is what I prayed for. And so I went over to her house. She was playing like yacht rock music and salami and cheese, looking at stars at night. I'm like, what is this? And then I thought it was gonna just be me and her. And so, her whole family came out. She was like, "Oh nah, this is a family date." The dog, everybody came out, and so I got to meet the essence of the family, the feel, the love, the support, the joy. I got to meet her, and then from there it was like I remember being in the air with her dad. We was on a trip, business trip. He was coming to support me. Then I just saw supernaturally, because he's an incredible storyteller, you know. And so I had questions about, the story and the word, and I saw the word start lifting off the page, marriage. And I asked her father on the plane, and I saw those are dream moments, like, and I saw his reaction. I remember getting off the plane. I came back and I said, "I just asked your dad if I can marry you." And yeah, and she can tell you the rest.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Oh,
rest was history. Yeah, we dated for about a year and a half and then got married.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yes,
How
journey.
important was it for you? Because you there backstage, you said that she made your purpose bigger.
Man, it goes back to the fact that I'm learning even every day more. She's a builder.
She's a developer.
Yeah, that's her design. That's where, so I learned that a gift isn't just, so she saw authentic purpose. She saw it was authentic. And that's that covenant, that's that love. And I say "and" because I just hear things in my heart. Covenant power like this. Allergies are trying to fight me. They trying to, like this morning, as you can see. And I remember waking up and I was just so excited to just come in and clean the kitchen for my wife. I just wanted, because she took the kids to school for me this morning. And she took the kids, and I was like, when she come home, I just want everything to be perfect. Literally, that was my heart. And as I'm like so excited to please her, to make her happy, I start supernaturally feeling better. And I was like, God, is this a superpower of being married? Is this
Mm-hmm.
when you follow your heart, and you, like, literally my body started healing. So being married, we just been discovering just incredible reasons on why. Like our lives, my life, because of her, I see new ways on how to see life. My new experiences. I started watching basketball now because of her. Going to basketball games. She had me on the roof cleaning solar panels. She'd see me with a hammer, like, nah, take the hammer. You know, it's expansion. Like, she has them, we traveling all around the world, and it's fun. It's incredible. It's inspiring. She's amazing, and the rumors are true. When you find somebody that you can harmonize with, your resonance become unlimited. Like, the possibilities is literally, and it's 14 years, and I feel like we just now. Okay, anyway,
And I was
you
about to
ask me about her. It's
been
just like it's
married.
like that.
You've been married 14 years. When I asked you earlier, of course, off stage, you said, 79 going on 80. And you say that, and you're saying that wasn't, ugh, I feel like we were married forever. No, it was an excitement of, man, I feel like we just knew each other that long. And I thought it was it's so beautiful to hear this. Please go ahead.
I just feel like we just recently. I feel like we just hit a new place in our marriage. And it's just like, man, I'm so glad that we had love as our center. It's like, to miss out on this now. It's like the first part of, it's a journey, it's an experience. And then you get to this place, like now we're on our third kid. It's like, whoa, okay. And I've always told her, is literally, she gets prettier and prettier. And I look at her and be like, how are you literally getting more prettier? And when your hearts are aligned and purposes are aligned. And I think because she builds and I see and I create like the heart, like it's like water and seed, water and seed, water and seed. And we both put the love. And it's like a principle that harmonizes throughout our whole ecosystem of our marriage. And we keep love as this, like literally it's our center. It's like instead of looking to each other and all that, we look like, okay, what is unconditional love? Like what is, and then when we find that, like we get to see miracles in our day. Like we pray together, we you know, we dream, we vision, and she go off on superhero missions, and I get to hear about her superhero missions, and I go off on my missions, and then we go on missions together. And
Antonia, how does it feel to hear him say about you, about who you are to him, about who you are to the family? Let me hear some of those feelings and thoughts that go through your mind. And then also about him, I'm sure he wants to be showered as well.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. It's an amazing feeling to just have a partner that is so vocal, not only like just expresses it outwardly, but is very, very vocal. And that was something that I didn't know that I needed, because I'm an introvert and he's an extrovert, and it's literally like between, like, one of us is left brain, the other one is right brain. Like it's he has the parts that I need. It's not that I want, but also that is needed. And
mm,
so when we come together, it's kind of like, um it's amazing, because and so, like, getting back to the showering of the love, it's like I didn't know I needed that, because and so for me, even me, the first couple of years of our marriage, I didn't know how to express how I felt, or like different things. So I was very quiet a lot of the time. And so he literally cracked open a shell of mine. And it's been an exciting journey. And he's an amazing man, and literally just one of the best human beings on this planet. And I think that, you know, I'm just really blessed and grateful to have him in my life, and be able to share him with the rest of the world. And yeah.
I'm no marriage therapist, but everybody expresses themselves differently. And one of the biggest expressions of love that I heard from you guys early on was before marriage and on a date, you're going to take him to a library. All because you were so attentive to who he is and was. And you said, I know exactly what you need. You need this book and you need to read this and you need this. Like, that is the biggest expression of how you felt and feel towards. And I can only imagine that you do other similar things like that along the way. Here we are, 13, 14 years later. And now you're together and you're still noticing, I know the way you think. I know what you need. Here you go. That's support. And I say that only because, we do express things differently. We as individuals, men, women. And for the woman who is listening and you're like, or for the man who's listening, and you automatically want to start pointing the finger at what he or she isn't doing. Um, you can always look at it as, but then again, what is he and she doing? Like, what do they do? They may not do it the way I want or the way that I do it, but maybe they are doing something and you're just so blinded by all of what all about you that you don't see. and you showered him. I mean, you took him to the library, and I'm like, what? But she's like, I know how you think. I know what you need. Like, it takes someone who's truly into you to be able to say, I know what you need without you telling them, or without you actually expressing. Like, she is that in tuned with you to from then. So we're talking date time. So I can only imagine that 14 years later, she knows before you even think you know. And you know one thing about women, and I think it's just the way God created us. Like, sometimes we know, like, we are there to lift and build up the home, the husband, the father, the king. Like, we are there to build up and do exactly what she does by passion to develop. Um, it's a beautiful story. Beautiful, beautiful story. And I love to talk about partners and relationships, especially when it comes to purpose, because as I was sharing with you earlier, what you do or why you do is just as important as who you do it with. And that this is in your case. What if she was someone who was the complete opposite, to tear you down and tear you apart? You wouldn't be able to do what you do, and vice versa. So I love it. And then you talked about miracles earlier. And so I know
Yeah.
there are miracles that,
I kind of told it a little bit,
oh,
but I'm a reiterate it in this way is just to, and you're awesome, by the way, um, literally, because it happened again. As you know, just to show you, I have my cleaner. But the more I, when it's real, when your words have, when it's real, when the words have power, when they have emotion, when they have intent, we benefit from that vibration, that sound. Like, so as I was telling my wife, telling you, and telling me the truth of what she is to me, my body was just root, and I literally, you forget my nose is clear. It gives you energy to love. Just like we just say, your word doesn't come back void. And I believe when it's real, I'm trying to find the words. I mean, you
Well,
know,
the word is, you were telling me earlier, is frequency. When you catch onto that frequency line, like, because everything for him is frequency
that
and sound.
that would be his word. Frequency
Yeah,
would be the word that Theron would come up with.
yeah, yeah.
and that's what happened today as I was cleaning. And that was the first time I felt that threat, that ripple from the rock. It's
Mm.
like, it was kind of cool to discover something new in God that way, Yahweh that way. And I think now, beyond the music, this is where we are just now super excited to figure out what we are even more. She's like, what in the world? But that saying as a spirit, it's like knowing that, wait a minute, I can follow a principle in the word, and I physically got a benefit from it. Like, I Proverbs 31. I love my wife. Then I don't like feeling like the allergies. Is no, but when you can natural medicine, and I
Mhm.
just start talking about how good. Just grateful for her. She's an incredible mom. She haven't even touched on that part yet. Um, I get to wake up and experience time with her. We get to suit up together and be like, okay, we got time today. How are we going to experience this? And I got a teammate, I got a partner, I got a best friend, I got a coach. You know what I'm saying? A person who can keep me in check. You know, we can enjoy this experience, this timeline, and that's for me, that's the wow, that's the wonder. Like, man, we get to do it again today.
So as you think about your journey, 14 years of marriage, as you think about even as individuals, as single individuals who, you recognized your purpose early on, was there ever a time when it wasn't always so easy and peachy and picnicky?
Yeah, we've had our journeys. Yeah. I think it was us really learning each other. He's an artist, and I'm definitely opposite of that. Like you've been around artists. They're uh, you know, different, right?
Right.
Than a very analytical person such as myself, because I'm very analytical. And so for us learning how have to share a life together and just being complete opposites. And I think it's literally like 14 years later, I would probably say like this last like maybe year, 2 years has been like where we're just like we've really like like in before it's like marriage, like you're together, but now it's like your fingers are crossing. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like it's if that's a good way
That's beautiful.
to
Um,
analyze it, I guess.
it's beautiful. Looking at great question. If I was to describe it, it's like you 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 know God is good. You know when you said yes at the altar, like like okay, it's like it's a journey, it's a walk, it's like, but we get to think about how many tools that our parents gave us, how many thoughts,
Mm.
how many sounds, how many thoughts, and how many they gave us gifts, so it's like okay, we get to try them out. And in the beginning, I saw two just fresh, just excited, new on the block, full of like, it's like, you have to learn how to mend, you know. Then you, and then through life, you got kids, and it go quick. Oh, then we become the kids. Is it us as a kid? Then you grow as a family. Like where we at, for the kid, right? Then you realize, wait, my wife. And then next thing you know, she's growing in her purpose. I'm watching her going to school. I'm watching her go through some tough times. People may do her wrong and deals, but I'm watching her perseverance. I'm watching her go with her dad, down to LA, like in a hood, but just there. They love her. Just but going there, being with the people, getting to know them, seeing how going to court with her dad, I'm watching her grow. Like, and it's like, what is this? Like, and then I'm watching her excited to go to Home Depot all the time to get wood and hammers. I'm like, what is going on? And then I'm watching her develop as a mother, then also as a businesswoman, then as a wife. I'm like, man, what is like? I remember here, but what in the world is she turning into? And then on my side, she's watching me like transform and figure because my sound is changing. I'm a father, so my sound is different. It's not the now it's like I'm becoming like, and then I'm learning how she don't need me to give her the answer all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning that she just need me to just listen. So you learn is like, I gave her a rose, but she didn't like it. Okay, I give her a rose. She's like, baby, I don't need a rose, baby. Just write me a letter. So you start to learn like really key essential little things that don't. And then next thing you know, I got my career and my career is changing. I'm scoring movies and not she'll see contracts and she'll say certain things. Then you be like, baby, you don't do music, now and she'd be like, baby, you don't build houses. So then, but I have a baby, I have an idea you should do, and she'd be like, baby, you maybe shouldn't, go there. And then it's that language start getting more clear to where it goes from me listening to managers and managers like, wait a minute, my wife, so now fast forward, I'm at a place to where my wife is incredible in my
Mm.
business.
Mm.
It's like now, and like the way now I've developed in her business, like now she's making earth homes, wellness homes. So now our worlds have crossed to where now she's helping me understand the building sides of the mechanisms of time. and how to answer with her. I'm expanding her view of it. Babe, housing, sound walls. And so now what she's saying, babe, let's now we put our worlds together and have a company called Neurominds, to where now we help, it's the music, and she builds the whole, like, it's in the way we travel around the world doing meetings together, you
Beautiful.
know, and now we found the world, and now our children, like it's harmony, and it's like we're one. So just to see how it kind of grew, and now she became and I became, and now we're like acclimate, fuse, and now we get to see. It's amazing.
How did you get beyond because I can only imagine that those were fighting words. I'm assuming they were fighting words when you would say to her, you don't do music. And she would say to you, you don't build houses. And I'm assuming at that time, they weren't necessarily said in the best way. How did you get beyond that?
It was it. I'm very wise. I wouldn't just say So I love it too much, but in the sense to where the way it sounded, it was like this. When you working on, like, Justin Bieber, Dr. Dre, really high profile, when you got, it's a lot, it's a big, you shipping out big records, right? So I have like some of the best attorneys in the world working on me. I have like great. So when you come in from a world system that's been giving you results, that's the only system you've known. And when I got married, I started understanding a covenant system, a different spiritual system. So I was so used to the world system that gave me great results. But God was trying to say there's a whole nother level. Like, let me show you. So I kept holding on to a loop that I was comfortable with. Keep giving, but God was trying to say, hey, it's a so with her, the trust, and but God grew it. Like, it was so organic. It was like wax on, wax off. The way God like grew us and how he just kept it. But it was more of, babe, I think, this attorney being the attorney, he's the biggest, and she'd be like, babe, probably should read that. I'd be like, babe, this is, who wrote this law. She's like, but I hear you, baby. But now I get to enjoy the fact that she hears from God. Like, she hears from Yahweh. Now we get to the point to where my lights are on her. Like, do I understand when you can get back to the natural essence of the simplicity of, like, do you just trust it?
Hmm.
She know the answer. Do you say some time? So now my team is now talking to her, asking her, what do
Wow.
she, oh yeah, she see. And so we're literally having fun hearing, um, reading together, like growing, like we love like reading, like we got books. We share books and we read and have fun.
I love it, love it, love it. Ah, it's beautiful. You heard me say it a little bit ago. And it's just beautiful to see that you guys are able to work through, forget around, just through, whatever it is that could tear you apart. But to now see that you guys are fused, that's the word. There's a fusion. And I think it's good for people, especially husbands and wives who are partners who are together, where their purpose could be opposites. And you'll be surprised but if we just allow God to let it be, there could be a fusion. Or even if there isn't a fusion, but we still can work together because, like you say, there's the world system, but there's also the covenant system that's actually, to be
Two
honest,
different system. Yeah.
stronger than the world system.
Mm.
Like nothing is stronger than the two of you that I'm looking at right here. Like that system, along with your children. Um, I think it's a beautiful thing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being so transparent and vulnerable. Because I like for people to hear what it is for other people and still see that. So we could still have this going on. We can still go through these challenges. But if we are patient enough, if we can trust God enough, if we have enough faith, like we can end up to where you guys are now, even if it's 14 years later. The first 13 may not have been anything, but the last 1 or 2 years have been amazing. And we've done all we did just to get to where we are. Why? Because we have another 100 to go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Absolutely. And I've been looking at it as I talk about passion. And I want to talk about passion because man, passion is when you're just doing something, like you think about it, you dream it, you eat it, you sleep it, like it's just everywhere. And so I'm looking at Theron and I'm seeing what appears to be a wedding ring. And it's in the form of a piano, is it not? I'm like, come on. And I'm looking at that and I'm like this is purpose in every form. Like and my dad was like that. Like he loved to this symbol or this drawing or like he loved the attitude of the lion, he loved the spirit of the eagle, like he loved these things. And so you would see lions everywhere in the house, you would see eagles everywhere in the house in any way, shape, or form. Like those two things were two symbols that exemplified who and what he was. So keep in mind, as Theron talks about music and the fact that he was 2 when he started playing the piano and his love for just everything sound, it would make so much sense that his wedding ring, if that's what it is that of a piano. And I don't take it lightly. Like I don't look at it as being something simple. Like his entire ring is an entire keyboard. Like I wish you guys can see it.
She,
If you
she surprised me. She did. She
There you go.
she did that.
There is the expression of love. You don't need to say nothing. If your acts of service, Antonia, is this, if you never expressed anything vocally, I would be absolutely fine. Because that is amazing for you to even do that in all the expression of who he is and what he does. Like that is awesome. I just think it's beautiful. I think it's a beautiful symbol of that speaks to who you are, Theron. And then
Mm.
it also speaks to the support and this cheerleader and this love and joy of a wife that you have. It's
Thank
amazing. It's
Thank you.
amazing. Where's our time going? Like, can we keep talking? Like, can this just be a 2-3 hour episode? But I want to thank you both for being on the pod, coming on, just being your true selves, allowing me to get all deep down in your, inner woven of who you are and what you do, but just being so transparent. And I hope that those of you who have been listening to both of them have just found some joy, some peace, some laughter, um, but also able to say, man, again, they can do it, so can I. Um, so, can you give both of you some final words of advice to those listening that you want to leave?
I would say follow your highest excitement within godly wisdom and don't look for the results that you're expecting. Just be in the moment. Just follow your highest excitement and go after it with all your heart. And see where that leads you. When that stops, go to the next thing. Go to the next thing, and life is going to lead you in a wonderful place. It's worked for me. Worked for us.
Mhm. Two things. First thing is that I'm learning, I'm remembering, is everybody, the excitement of life, that everybody you get to meet, even every bird, dog, whatever, or everybody, human you get to meet, is a version of you. So you get a chance to respond to you. So really how you treat people is really how you get a chance to treat yourself. So that journey just a chance, it's the opportunity to be kind. Figure out the kind codes. Everybody you get to meet, if they horrible or mean, it gives you the opportunity to make a choice. I get to meet me today, and how do I look? So I would say that has helped us in our journeys from like just in humanity, period. And then the second thing, yeah, the first thing kind of probably,
You added both? Okay.
something that I really, this is really awesome to be here.
As you think about that, I have a question. Ooh, and I don't want to end
Yeah.
without asking. You both are doing amazing things, great things. You're able to be in rooms with, these high profile people according to the society's standard. How have you managed to maintain your humility, both of you?
Ah, I've learned and I remember is to not put, what's the word? Not put the emphasis on the actual action, but put it on the decision. Put the put the measurement of humanity, who you are, on the decision and not on the opportunity. So it's been proud of the decisions of the content is collecting thoughts or collecting us thoughts or collecting thoughts or words that help you make the best decisions throughout your life. What would you say?
I'm trying to think of the proper words to put it in as far as I guess when you realize that, I mean, it kind of gets a little deep into like physics and things like that.
Which we love.
Like when you let's say for example like the double slit experiment, right? When you realize that none of this is actually physically here, we're just experiencing it, right? And it's only as much emphasis as you put on it, then the material things doesn't really matter because you realize this is all temporal, like it says in the Bible, right? And that this is it's more of the things unseen than the things you do see.
I
And
got
when
some
you
water for you.
and when you really get a deep understanding of that and really dig into what that all means, then I think that it kind of keeps you humble because the unseen is more important than things you see.
Yeah, you're it's like you really become excited about what you are. It's like, and we learned, like when you get to learn about what this is, why we do what was, like, in all things you do get understanding. So for that, that's just like everything is God created it. So like bad is what we yeah, humanity, like spirit, like you was like to know what that is and to know what you're capable of, to use all of your powers, to learn how to use all of what, not just this, but to really understand vibration and how to be aligned. Like the Bible, the word,
It's true.
yeah, miracles are real. And that's fun. So that keeps us like in a
Yeah,
state of wonder. Like, man, like,
always learning, always
yeah,
learning. There's so much
learn,
we don't know.
learn,
Yeah,
learn, read.
Being in a state of wonder and always wanting to learn, like that'll keep you humble for real.
Yeah,
No
like,
matter who you're with or who you have access to. Oh, thank you for sharing that. That I like it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you both so very much. Again, it won't be the last time that you're here. I make promises. Let it be known. Let me say it publicly. They will be back. You will be back. Um,
let's go. Thank you for
but
having me.
yes, thank
thank
you
you.
again for being here. I love to end on a note that I'm passionate about. So it's interesting. I don't do anything regarding this thing, but I am very passionate about it, and it's food. I love to eat. I love good food. I love to enjoy good.
Mm.
That is my highest level of excitement, Antonia. If food is there and it's good, I am present. So please share. Uh, what is your favorite dish? What are your favorite restaurants? Your favorite food?
Ooh, that I don't have an answer for anymore. It used to
Really?
be like I don't know, pizza or tacos or things like
Now and
that.
then.
But yeah, now I'm exploring. I'm like, because we're traveling so much, we get to try new things. I'm constantly,
All about
kind of,
trying new stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. Theron?
I'm like you. Oh my gosh, I've been on this health thing of just, when I say health, like just learning what's the best ingredients to make my favorite dish. Or
Mm.
like just getting really into the art making of putting the right tomato with the right relish. Just I've been into that part of it, of putting the right and just experimenting and trying
Such
new
a
things in the cookbook.
such a producer. Such the answer of a producer. Love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I appreciate you both very much. To those who have been watching, this is another great episode of the Purpose Finder podcast. We've had fun with Theron. We've had fun with Antonia. We've learned so much about them. And hopefully that you get to take home one thing today that if you apply it to your life, it'll change your entire world. Until next time, here on the Purpose Finder podcast, I am your host, Carissa Monroe Wilborn. See you soon. Bye.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap on this episode of the Purpose Finder podcast. I hope today's conversation lit a fire within you, because purpose isn't just something you chase. It is something you live every single day. If this episode resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more people on their journey to purpose. Let's continue the journey together. Join the Purpose Finder community on Facebook for exclusive insights, tools, and a tribe of purpose-driven people just like you. And remember, the two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Your purpose isn't far off. It's already within you. It's time for you to uncover it and live it boldly. Until next time, stay inspired, stay intentional, and keep walking in your purpose.